recording, and this is the day of light and love. I'm not really sure if how much of that other live stream people were able to understand. So this is Ivonne Delaflor, and she is here to talk on light and love and bringing that to your own life so that it grows. It grows. The influence grows, bringing light to other people. You were telling the story about as a child and sacred geometry. I think that was a very good story.
I can share it briefly, just very quickly. Puedo compartirlo despacio. So, hi everyone, hola a todos. Thank you for your flexibility. Gracias por su flexibilidad. That's a key to allowing light in, right? Esa es una llave maestra para permitir la luz, to have flexibility in order to flow. Tener flexibilidad para poder fluir, because light is flow. La luz es flujo. Love is flow. El amor es fluir. Without flow, sin fluir, we tend to constrict our existence. Tendemos a hacer así como que más dura nuestra existencia. That's when we trap ourselves into rules. Es cuando nos atrapamos en reglas, and we miss the opportunity of the experience sometimes, right? Y perdemos la oportunidad de la experiencia. To let go, de dejar ir, or to embrace what is happening. Darle la bienvenida a lo que está pasando, and just literally flow in the flow y fluir con el flujo. So I was sharing, hi, my name is Ivonne Delaflor. Hola, soy Ivonne Delaflor. It's an honor for me to be here with you, Dr. Jeanne. Es un honor estar aquí con ustedes. I'm literally outside of a Whole Foods right now. Estoy literalmente afuera de un Whole Foods. But one of the things of love and light and love, una de las frecuencias más importantes de la luz y el amor is that no matter what, no importa qué, it's a 24/7 it's a job. I like the word job. Es un trabajo de 24 horas al día. La luz y el amor. Love and light are action verbs. La luz y el amor son verbos de acción. And so you make them happen. Los haces pasar. You take action upon them. Tomas acción acerca de ellos. So if it takes for me to be screaming outside of Whole Foods this transmission, I will. Si esto se lleva que voy a gritar afuera de Whole Foods, hi, esto lo voy a hacer. So my name is Ivonne Delaflor. Soy Ivonne Delaflor. I'm a speaker, so a public speaker. Hago pláticas en público, motivacionales. My expertise is in the area of sustainable human transformation. Mi área de experiencia es en la transformación sustentable humana. All of the systemic work that you can possibly imagine, todo el trabajo sistémico, from family constellations, de trabajo de constelación familiares, psychosomatic therapies, terapias psicosomáticas, everything that really helps human transform sustainably. Todo aquello que ayuda a los humanos a transformarse sustentablemente. I've studied many modalities, graduated and excel on them. He estudiado muchas modalidades y he sido bastante exitosa en ellas. From nutrition, desde nutrición, leadership, all the modalities of leadership, liderazgo en todas las modalidades, rebirthing, renacimiento. I created a system called Transcendental Rebirthing. Creé un sistema que se llama Renacimiento Trascendental, breathwork, terapia de respiración, and many more, muchas más. And there's an airplane right now, so I hope you can hear me.
We can.
¿Sí? Ahorita hay un avión, espero que me puedan escuchar. And literally, my passion, my mission is sustainable human transformation. Y mi pasión, mi misión es la herramienta, poder llevar a los humanos transformación sustentable. Because if it's not sustainable, porque si no es sustentable, then what? ¿Qué más? Then I get a good marketing product to sell. Puedo tener un muy buen producto de mercado que vender. But if it's not something that brings more evolution and contribution to the world, pero si es algo que no trae más evolución y contribución al mundo, then I don't see the purpose on it. Yo no veo el propósito. So that's my 24/7 mission. Esa es mi misión 24/7. And I use a lot of methodologies. Utilizo muchas metodologías. Literally all aims to one thing. Todo llega a una sola cosa, to one ocean. All of my tools are rivers that aims to one ocean. Todas mis herramientas son ríos que llegan a un océano, which is human transformation, que es la transformación humana, and the healing and parking of the perception of the past, y el sanar y el estacionar la percepción del pasado, actualize our present moment, actualizar nuestro presente momento, right? Because sometimes we carry a lot of the past, what appears to be the past, in our vision. A veces traemos mucho lo que aparenta ser el pasado en nuestra visión, and we're not here. Y no estamos aquí. We're missing out on ourselves. Nos estamos perdiendo en nosotros mismos. We're missing out on the experience of life right now. Y perdemos nuestra vida en este momento, the now, el ahora. And release the future. Y dejar libre el futuro, which is non-existent, que no existe, but it's a cool thing to help people with. Es increíble ayudar a la gente it's cool to help people believe in future, and that defies all of the spiritual teaching things, right? Es muy padre hacerle a la gente, ayudarle a creer en el futuro, y eso hace como una paradoja en las enseñanzas espirituales. But the reason why, pero la razón, el por qué, is because when you let go of the past, cuando dejas ir el pasado, and you actualize your present, y actualizas el presente, you're going to create more of your now in a more joyful, brilliant way. Vas a crear más de tu ahora en una forma más brillante. And some people believe that's the future. Y alguna gente cree que ese es el futuro. But if it helps them, pero si les ayuda to believe that they can create more in the next moment, si les ayuda a creer que pueden crear más en el siguiente momento, I'm all in for that. Estoy completamente para eso. And so you asked me to share a little bit of my story. I'm pretty unidentified with my story these days, but I'll do my best on that. Me pidió Dr. Jeanne compartir un poco de mi historia con ustedes y haré lo más posible. Estoy bastante desidentificada de mi historia estos días. I'm even unidentified about the story of me being Ivonne Delaflor lately. No tengo mucha identificación hasta ser Ivonne Delaflor. Even Ivonne Delaflor has become like a venue of service. It's like a vessel now. Hasta Ivonne Delaflor se ha convertido como un vehículo de servicio. But since I was little, when I was littler, in the universal perspective, cuando era niña, en la perspectiva universal, I was a lover of sacred geometry since I was 4 years old. Fui una amante de la geometría sagrada desde que tenía los 4 años. I used to draw it naturally. I think every child has that. Solía dibujarla naturalmente. But part of my story in there is not about the sacred geometry. Parte de mi historia ahí no es acerca de la geometría sagrada. The most important for me in that story, lo más importante para mí en esa historia, is what my mom did. Es lo que hizo mi mamá. And it's that I used to draw this in school. Y solía yo dibujar esta geometría sagrada en la escuela. And the teachers will complain about it. Y las maestras se quejaban, will say, this child is totally distracted. Esta niña está distraída, she's not paying attention, no está poniendo atención, she's not learning about the birthdays of the presidents, no está aprendiendo a memorizing, right? The schools are memorization, kind of devices or jails sometimes. Yeah. No está memorizándose las fechas del nacimiento de los presidentes. A veces las escuelas son como cárceles de hacer memorización del pasado. Imagine, schools literally are jails to learn about the past of other people. That sucks. Literally, let's learn that. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that right now because that will take me to a passionate rant. But my mom, mi mamá, in that story, en esa historia, she said, you know what, why don't you do it at home? ¿Por qué no haces esto en casa and not do it at school? Y no lo hagas en la escuela. So that gave me a permission, me dio un permiso of continuing to do what I love. De continuar haciendo lo que amaba, and without making it wrong, sin hacerlo mal. So that's the most important for me of that story. For a lot of people, it's like, wow, she drew sacred geometry, right? Para mucha gente, cuando cuenta esta historia, dicen, wow, hacía geometría sagrada. That's cool. Está padre. Hi. Happy New Year to you. You are welcome to come to the interview. See, anyways. But the most important was the words of my mother. Lo más importante fueron las palabras de mi mamá. And I work a lot with people these days. Y ayudo a mucha gente en estos días to help them see the good things of their past. ayudarlos a ver las buenas cosas de su pasado so they can move forward, para seguir adelante. The next part of the story that I tell a lot in my public speaking, la siguiente parte de la historia que sí cuento mucho cuando hago prácticas motivacionales, is at the age of 17, es que a los 17 años, 1 month before being 18, un mes antes de tener 18, I was in a near-death experience. Tuve una experiencia de muerte cercana. And I hope you can hear me well, Dr.
Yes,
Jeanne.
we can.
Okay.
Yes.
And in that experience, en esa experiencia where I was literally dead for a couple of seconds, donde sí estuve muerto unos segundos, and I lost an arm and they put it back. Perdí un brazo y lo pusieron. Lost a leg, they put it back. Perdí una pierna. Well, it was not a leg, it was the femur, right? Went all out of my body. El fémur se salió. I was supposed not to have an arm and not to walk again. Supuestamente iba yo no a tener un brazo ni a caminar otra vez. But that story, esa historia, what helped me, lo que me ayudó, it was to really believe in something greater than just me. De dejar de creer en algo más allá que solo yo. Until that point, hasta ese punto, as a teenager, como un adolescente, the world pretty was all around about me. El mundo era todo acerca de mí. And even though I meditated since I was young, y aunque meditaba desde que era chica, the kind of like the ego of the physical vanity was dying in that moment. El ego de la vanidad física empezó a morir, and I really knew, sabía en ese momento, that I was being called, que estaba siendo llamada for service, a servir, and that I was given another opportunity to live, y que tenía otra oportunidad de vivir. So that was my rebirthing. Ese fue mi renacimiento. Literally, I've been alive twice in a lifetime. So who gets, that's a great privilege. He tenido la oportunidad de vivir 2 vidas en una misma vida, así que es un gran privilegio. I'm doing the best with the time.
So that was super clarifying. That experience was very, very clarifying.
Oh yeah, I knew I was here for a purpose. Supe que estaba aquí por un propósito. I never not knew that God was real. Sabía que Dios era real. I knew the energy that surrounded me was intelligence. Sabía que la energía que me rodea, and I know that, sé que es energía inteligente. I'm surrounded by divine intelligence all the time. Estoy rodeada de inteligencia divina todo el tiempo. And I serve it. Y sirvo. I serve the divine intelligence. That's what I do.
Yes.
Eso es lo que hago. Servir la inteligencia divina.
Well, I'd like to bring up, since we're talking about light and love, and since this is a time of year where there's probably most people measure how they feel. Sometimes and I know it's going to lead into talking about like the dark, the dim, the bright, and the brilliant futures. Something that I learned from you, and I myself know that all those years I was living in the bright, there was always that feeling of incompleteness or yearning, longing. There was something more that needed to be satisfied within me. And I think this time of year, maybe someone may be watching this and they're in the dark, right? They're literally contemplating. It could be like the end. They might just absolutely like not like the results or not like the life that they're living, right? There may be a void. And it could be kind of dim. It could be they have certain things, but they're lacking. They know that they're lacking. It's not even bright. They feel like the light has kind of gone the wrong way. It's kind of going out. And then you have people who, I think a lot of people who probably will tune in here are people who might be in the bright, where it looks really, really good from the outside. But on the inside of either their relationship, their home, just themselves, there's a gap of sorts that unfulfilled, right? And I know that you teach about the brilliant. You teach about. I know that you live that concept that you just explained about being connected and being very aware of infinite intelligence all the time and taking direction, right? And
Yes.
allowing it, right? I think that piece right there for a lot of people who are on that success train, right? That piece is missing for them, that meaning, right? What would you say to that? I mean, I know you'll do a better job of defining those different states or conditions, or however you want to define those, the dark, the dim, the bright, and the brilliant. How would you, in a really simple way, communicate to someone those states of being, and then maybe perhaps we can end with you just giving a couple of suggestions.
Okay, so I just wanna, upon what you said, de lo que acabas de decir, I actually like the void, by the way. A mí me gusta mucho el lugar, hablaba Dr. Jeanne de un lugar, de un espacio, un vacío, un void. Because the void has more flow than a life full of things. El void, el vacío, tiene mucho más flujo que una vida llena de cosas. I think the lack of fulfillment that you speak of many, creo que la falta de satisfacción de que habla Dr. Jeanne de muchos is because if we expect the external world to fulfill us, we have lost. Porque si tenemos la expectativa de que el mundo exterior nos satisfaga, estamos perdidos. It will never satisfy us. No, nunca nos va a satisfacer, because the more, porque el más, it comes from within, viene desde adentro, and it can never be given from the outside world. Jamás te lo puede dar el mundo exterior. And the scripts of society y los guiones de la sociedad, they tell you to accumulate, te dicen que acumules. They tell you to do, te dicen que hagas. They tell you to be someone different than you are, que seas alguien diferente a lo que eres, so that you can first please society, al principio darle, mantener contenta a la sociedad, and then with that, y después con eso, receive the approval of society, recibir la aprobación de la sociedad, so you can be fulfilled. So it's a trap, ¿no? Para que puedas ser satisfecho, tienes que satisfacer a los otros. So those aspects that you are speaking of, esos aspectos de los que hablas, dark, dim, bright, and brilliant, la oscuridad, el tenue, lo brilloso y lo brillante, they are some aspects of choices, son aspectos, qualities of choices, cualidades de elecciones that we can do all of the time, que podemos hacer todo el tiempo, and that we are actually doing every moment, que cada momento estamos haciendo, with our thoughts, con nuestros pensamientos, with our chosen words, con nuestras palabras, with our surroundings, con lo que nos rodeamos, and what we are adding meaning to, y con lo que le estamos agregando significado. These days, estos días, I've been literally contemplating the concept of meaning. He estado contemplando mucho el concepto del significado. The less meaning I have in my life, the more happy I am. Which is totally the contrary belief of like spirituality, right? Like find a life that has meaning. And the less meaning I have, the happier I am. But you know, that's where the brilliant future kicks in. But I'll share it. Let me just translate it really quickly. Estos días he estado contemplando mucho una vida llena de significado, ¿no? Que dice, encuentra significado a tu vida. Yo soy más libre y más feliz mientras menos significado encuentro. The less meaning I have found in life, the more brilliantly I live. Mientras menos significado he encontrado a la vida, más brillantes vivo. Why? ¿Por qué? Because the less judgment I do, menos juicio hago. Less identification with something as something I do. Menos identificación con algo como algo. Less expectations of people. Menos expectativas, and more, and I allow my heart center, love, y permito a mi corazón, el centro de la inteligencia de mi corazón y el amor, to guide my path, guiar mi camino. And so from that space, desde ese espacio, I can choose to create my reality. Puedo elegir crear mi realidad, either in a dark way, de manera oscura, where I don't see purpose of life. I have no purpose whatsoever, donde no tengo propósito en la vida, cuando veo las cosas oscuras, ya perdí el propósito, and I'm really literally just thinking about me. Y realmente estoy pensando en mí. Why? ¿Por qué? Because I am suffering. Yo estoy sufriendo. Everything is lost. Todo está perdido. I'm only thinking about me in that moment, right? Solo estoy pensando en mí. That's why I'm so miserable. Por eso soy tan miserable, because my life sucks. Porque mi vida es, no vale la pena. There's nothing to fight for anymore. There's nothing to live for. No hay nada que vivir. I want to kind of die. Me quiero morir. And that's like a great example of darkness. Y un gran ejemplo de cualidad de oscuridad. It was Eckhart Tolle, el señor Eckhart Tolle, that he really tried to kill himself like 23 times. Que se trató de suicidar como 23 veces. And when he woke up, cuando se despertó to the now, a la hora, he was like, it was all about me. The darkness was all about me. La oscuridad era todo acerca de mí. In darkness, we don't think of others. En la oscuridad no pensamos en otros. We don't contribute, no estamos contribuyendo. We feel all is lost, right? Creemos que todo ha sido perdido because we haven't found fulfillment within us, porque no hemos encontrado satisfacción adentro de nosotros. Now, the dim choices, las elecciones tenues. Dim choices are the A-OK. Las elecciones tenues son las, está bien. Why working more? Just get your payment every week. ¿Para qué trabajas más? Obtén tu trabajo, tu dinero cada semana. See what they can give you extra without you working. A ver qué te pueden dar extra sin que tú trabajes. Let's ride on the success of those people so we can have it easier. Vamos a subirnos al camión del éxito de otros para que nosotros lo tengamos más fácil. It's the parasite strategies way of living. Es donde vives como un parásito, estrategias parásito, where you latch onto others, donde te pegas a otros, where you wait for your mom and dad to pay for your living, even if you are 50 years old, donde esperas que tu papá y tu mamá te paguen por tu vida, aunque tengas 50 años, while you play Nintendo and eat pizza on the sofa. Mientras juegas Nintendo y comes pizza en el sofá. The dim, la cualidad tenue, is where you blame others, es donde culpas a otros. You blame politics, culpas a la política. You blame the rich people, right? Le culpas a la gente rica, the people that control humanity, la gente que controla la humanidad. Practically, dim choices, prácticamente las elecciones tenues, you are not responsible of your creation. No tomas responsabilidad de tu creación. I swear to you, this is the busiest I've ever seen this place. This is usually an empty place, but of course it happens. You can still hear me well, right? Okay. So, las elecciones tenues es culpas a todos. In dim and tenue, you will refer a lot to your past. Te vas a referir al pasado. Oh, you know what they did to us. ¿Sabes lo que nos hicieron? Oh, I've suffered a lot. He sufrido mucho. So you have an identification with why you haven't moved forward. Porque así tienes una identificación en el por qué no sigues adelante. You have an excuse, tienes excusas, you have a justified complaint, justificas tus quejas, and you just stay surviving. Te quedas sobreviviendo. It's the soap opera culture, es la cultura de las telenovelas. It's the lukewarm living. Es la vida tenue, where you rather conform, te prefieres conformar than succeed or be fulfilled, que tener éxito y satisfacerte. Then the bright future, or the bright choices, las elecciones brillosas o futuros brillosos, is what a lot of people sell. Es lo que mucha gente vende. I wear the designer bag, uso la bolsa del diseñador, I go shopping every weekend, voy a comprar cada semana, I'm a successful entrepreneur, soy un emprendedor exitoso. I live the green screen life. Vivo la vida de la pantalla verde. Everything is happy and blissful and peaceful. Todo es felicidad y con mucha paz y de luz. But when no one sees me, pero cuando nadie me ve, I'm miserable. Soy miserable. Or I wake up at 4 a.m. saying what you said. O me despierto a las 4 de la mañana with this feeling, con este sentimiento. There's something more. Hay algo más. This can't be it. Esto no puede ser. In brightness, en lo brilloso, a lot of entrepreneurs literally die from heart attacks. Muchos emprendedores mueren de ataque al corazón because they hustle, 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 porque están en el hustle, en el trabajo, 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 but they forget to invest in what really matters. Pero se les olvida invertir en lo que importa, in the now, en el ahora, in their spirituality, en su espiritualidad, and in a life that doesn't depend in what they show off to the world. Y en una vida que no depende de lo que les van a tratar de demostrar a los otros. They have to keep up with a lot of Photoshop reality. Tienen que mantener una vida de status quo. Tienen que mantener una vida. It's very expensive to keep the status quo going, right? Te cuesta mucho mantener una vida del status quo. So they spend a lot in the marketing to keep their identity going. Se gastan muchísimo en la mercadotecnia de permanecer siendo su identidad. And to literally live a life of fulfillment. Y para vivir una vida de satisfacción, we require to be free of identity. Tenemos que estar libres de identificación, to be happy to who we are all of the time, even in the darkest moments. Y entrar en la felicidad de ser todo lo que podemos ser. To stop lying, dejar de mentir. To ourselves, a nosotros mismos. And that's when you begin to live the brilliant life. Y eso es cuando empiezas a vivir la vida brillante. Which is choices, que son elecciones where you love people so much, donde amas a la gente tanto that you don't care what their status quo thinking thinks. Que ya no te importa lo que su pensamiento del status quo piense. You begin to be of service to others. Empiezas a ser de servicio a otros. You contribute, contribuyes. The me no longer exists as an identity that suffers. El yo no existe ya como una identidad que sufre. You really become a vessel of service and creation. Te conviertes en el vehículo de creación y de servicio. That's where you came here for in the first instance, right? Y que esa es la instancia en la que venimos a existir desde que éramos bebés. And so, I hope this answers your question, Dr. Jeanne. I cannot hear you.
You can't. Now you can. I said that was amazing. That was really, really, really good. And I've heard you break that down actually a few times, but every time you break it down, I feel like I wrap my mind around it. I own it like a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And it's interesting because people during this time of year, they can notice that their life is maybe darker than they want it or dim, but that works to serve them, right? Like it shows, there's something that you recognize that needs to be fixed. And that's probably the person that's participating and watching this. I know that you have, I'd like you to talk about the Sheepless Life Academy real briefly, because I know that's an opportunity for people to work with you in a group program way.
Yes, that's where we met.
That is where we met.
Yeah, before that, you said a very powerful word. You said that a lot of people are living in darkness these times of the year. And let me tell you, in my perception of that, Dr. Jeanne dijo que mucha gente estaba viviendo en oscuridad en estas épocas del año. Y mi percepción de eso, my perception of that is because the script, el guión of society, de la sociedad, tells you that on Christmas you should be happy. Te dice que en Navidad deberías de estar feliz. The script tells you should be surrounded by your loved ones. El guión te dice deberías de estar rodeado con tus seres amados. Christmas is a state of mind. La Navidad es un estado mental. It's a state of the heart. Es un estado del corazón. So a lot of the suffering in the world, mucho del sufrimiento del mundo, is because we are basing our happiness on a script. Estamos basando nuestra felicidad en un guión. We are comparing ourselves with the expectation of the collective script. Nos comparamos con la expectativa del guión colectivo, and we can't live the expectation. No podemos vivir la expectativa, so we cannot own, and you said that word, entonces no podemos ser dueños of our present moment and own it fully. No podemos ser dueños de nuestro momento presente y ser totalmente dueños, because we're not taking responsibility, porque no estamos tomando responsabilidad. We're still giving the power to external forces. Seguimos dándole el poder a fuerzas externas. And so, the Shipless Life Academy, la Academia Shipless Life, it's an academy for women, though, sorry, gentlemen. Es una academia para mujeres. And it's an academy based on all of this that I'm talking about. Es una academia basada en todo lo que estoy hablando. It's three models, son 3 módulos, 24 weeks, 24 semanas, that literally were designed, que literalmente fueron diseñadas based on the studies that I did in the school of Joseph Campbell, en la escuela que estudié del señor Joseph Campbell, The Hero's Journey, el viaje heroico. So it's the first program is called the Shipless Life 1.0. El primer programa se llama el Shipless Life 1.0, which is literally helping women. Es literalmente ayudar a las mujeres, and it could help men too, but I decided to help my women thrive there. También podría ayudar a los hombres. But it's to stop fearing what people think. Es dejarle de tener miedo a lo que la gente piensa. All of those 8 weeks, todas esas 8 semanas, in all areas of your life, en todas las áreas de tu vida. Because what purpose is to get a diploma? ¿Qué propósito te sirve tener un diploma and get super powerful outside in the world y tener mucho poder afuera, and if you are still crafting your message to please others? Si aún estás haciendo tu mensaje para complacer a otros, if you are living with fear of what your mom and dad says, si vives con miedo de lo que tu mamá y tu papá van a pensar, what society will think, lo que la sociedad va a pensar, what if I decide to live my dream? ¿Qué tal si deseo vivir mi miedo, but my spouse doesn't like it, pero a mi esposo no le gusta? My children will judge me as a bad mother if I'm a writer. Mis hijos me van a juzgar. Those fears of what people think are one of the biggest fears in humanity right now. Esos miedos son uno de los miedos más grandes. More than public speaking, más de hablar en público, and more than death, y más que morir. People say more often, I wish I died. La gente, and there's studies on that, la gente dice las palabras, ojalá me muriera, than, they prefer to say that, prefieren eso, than confrontar their fear of what other people think, que confrontar el miedo de lo que los otros piensan. They're afraid to say yes, les da miedo decir que sí to what they really want, a lo que realmente quieren, and they often say yes to the things they want to say no to. Y muy usualmente dicen que sí a las cosas que quieren decir que no, and that's lying. Y eso es mentir to yourself, a ti mismo. So for 8 weeks, por 8 semanas, we walk through that rite of passage. Caminamos por ese camino como de iniciación. The next 8 weeks is called the Shipless Life 2.0. Las siguientes 8 semanas es el Shipless Life 2.0, which is being radically you. Es atreverte a ser radicalmente tú. So what purpose it is? ¿Qué propósito te sirve? You stop fearing what people think. Dejas de tener miedo a lo que la gente piensa. You begin to live your life. Empiezas a vivir tu vida. You take off the masks. Te quitas las máscaras where you pretend to be something you are not. Donde pretendes ser algo que no eres. And then what next? Y luego, ¿qué más? People tend to return to their habits if they do not have a continuation of mastery and growth. La gente tiende a regresar a sus hábitos cuando no tienen mentoría, maestría y crecimiento. Because it's the default. Porque es el default. It's the automatic pilot. To feel the energy, it's recreating itself. La energía siempre se recrea. It's not, you will go back to the default if you don't train into mastery. Yes. Vas a regresar a los hábitos del pasado si no entrenas en maestría. So, Radically You, el programa Radicalmente Tú, is mastery, es maestría, is discipline, es disciplina. Without discipline, sin disciplina, I haven't seen anyone succeed, yes, but not being fulfilled. Sin disciplina, he visto a muchos tener éxito, pero no tener satisfacción. Because daily discipline, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritual, is needed for fulfillment and for human contribution. Sin disciplina, no se puede crear éxito sustentable. Y se necesita disciplina mental, espiritual, física y emocional. Those who have the discipline of mastery, los que tienen disciplina en la maestría, are the people that are changing the world. Son la gente que está cambiando el mundo, are the leaders we want to follow. Son los líderes que queremos seguir because they awaken the leader within us, porque despiertan el líder. And so, She Plus Life 2.0 and She Plus Life 2.0, it's all about mental mastery, es maestría mental. Remember, Dr. Jeanne, creative power of thought. Es el poder creativo del pensamiento, is the learning how to use your personal power language. Aprender a usar tu lenguaje de poder, because with your words and with your thoughts and your emotions, you do create reality. Porque con tus pensamientos, tus palabras y tus emociones creas la realidad. And we also teach some of the universal laws. Enseñamos las leyes universales, because you are operating on an intelligent system that has laws. Porque estás operando en un sistema inteligente que tiene leyes, like natural law, como las leyes naturales. So, mastery without knowing those laws, la maestría sin conocer esas leyes, it's like playing halfway. It's like lukewarming it. Es como jugar a la mitad. So you master those, tienes la maestría de ellas, and then you begin to teach from that space. Y empiezas a enseñar and live from that space, y vivir desde ese espacio. And the third one, the last 8 weeks, y las últimas 8 semanas, She Plus 3.0, es el dejar de ser una oveja 3.0, it's futuring. It's called the future of you, es tu futuro. Because once you have the skills, una vez que tienes las herramientas, once you have taken full responsibility for and of your creation, una vez que has tomado responsabilidad total de tu creación y para tu creación, you have a moral duty to serve and create reality. Tienes un deber moral de servir a otros y crear realidades. And you can design your future. Puedes diseñar tu futuro. You cannot blame the past anymore. Ya no puedes culpar a los demás. You have the tools of responsibility. Tienes las herramientas de responsabilidad. You cannot go into blame the existence, the weather, the politics. Ya no puedes culpar al pasado, a la existencia, a los políticos. You become the architect of the future. Te conviertes en el arquitecto del futuro, a sculptor of reality, un escultor de la realidad, a designer of your now, in brilliancy, un diseñador de la hora. And so the last 8 weeks we teach futuring. Las últimas 8 semanas enseñamos este sistema de futuring, and we teach women, y enseñamos a las mujeres how to know when they are creating their futures from darkness, dimness, bright and brilliant. Enseñamos a las mujeres cómo están creando sus realidades y sus futuros desde la oscuridad, desde lo tenue, desde lo brilloso, lo brillante. And a lot of people try to quit the first 2 weeks. Mucha gente trata de darse por vencido las primeras 2 semanas. They don't like me a lot those 2 weeks. No les gusta mucho esas 2 semanas. They send me a message that they're dying, literally. Me mandan mensajes de que están muriendo, but it's because the first 2 weeks we park the past. Las 2 primeras semanas trabajamos en estacionar el pasado. And there's systems to do that. Hay sistemas. There's power imagery processes. Hay ejercicios de imaginación de poder. And then there's you. Y estás tú. And without a mask, sin una máscara, being radically you, siendo radicalmente tú, and not fearing what people think, y no teniéndole miedo a lo que la gente piensa, you unleash the force for good that you are. Desatas la fuerza del bien que eres. And so that's the She Plus Life. Eso es la Academia She Plus Life. I can hear you, love.
I'm sorry, I keep muting myself. I was going to say that I will post the link. We'll make sure that link is posted somewhere in the upper comments of this recording, so that people can click on that and they can learn more about it and sign up for it. It was one of the best decisions that I actually ever made. Was doing that. It was so life-changing, and the concepts that you bring are they seem familiar, but at the same time they're very distinctly different. They're separate. They're I don't want to say unique, because that's not the right word, but there's a lot to be learned and there's a lot to be applied. And I like when you talk about sustainable human transformation. right?
Yes.
Sustainable. That's the key word, you know. Anybody can have an uptick, you know, but you know, it's kind of like this, you know, and what we're looking for is to grow and grow and grow and grow, because that's how the world will change. Like you said, we get to bring the good. We need to feed the good. We need to feed the light. And is there anything that you'd like to say to someone in closing that might be dancing in those lower, the dimmer or the darker or even the bright, that you would like to say to them?
Well, you know, there's darkness, deepness, bright, and brilliant. There's nothing wrong with any of them. There's nothing wrong with any human experience. It's how you approach every single thing in life. It's how you are going to choose to create yourself to be with every moment. It's with every breath, we have a new opportunity. Just in that inhale and that exhale, we have an opportunity of choice. We have an opportunity of creating our life anew every moment. We are not defined by our stories. We are not defined by the expectations of society or the scripts or everything. That's so temporarily, right? Sustainable is evolution. Evolution is sustainable. So if I could say something today that is related to light and love, right, that is sustainable for their lives, is be more of who you are. Literally, right now, the heroes are those who dare to be who they are. Your fear of what others think, it's already in the past. The worst is already over. Every single moment, you are the peace in the storm. You are the eye of the hurricane. Every choice you make, those matters. And stop postponing your joy. If I really could say something, is like, when we postpone our joy and we say the words, I have to sacrifice, or we're lying. Stop lying. Stop lying. Stop excusing and justifying the reasons why you haven't chosen to move forward. Because you know how to move forward. You know. You have a teacher within you. You have the light within you. Love is your birthright. Love is who you are. You are operating through love every single moment. Just allow that love. And one more thing, listen to the voice. I tell you, Dr. Jeanne, that voice, I do not do anything that the inner voice in me doesn't agree with. It sounds like a paradox, right? It sounds like there's two of us. There's a voice, your intuition, the voice of the heart, and it always feels right. It feels right. It takes a lot of courage, because you have to quiet the voice of the external expectations to listen and follow through that voice and take that step forward, so you can live a life of joy. You don't came here to suffer. You didn't come here to sacrifice. You came here to be light as love, the love that you are.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you. And thank you, all the people at Whole Foods. I feel like you should have a whole bunch of people like sitting around listening to everything.
I have a lot of people sitting around literally here.
Are they listening to you? I would like to be at that Whole Foods, just stumbling onto someone like Ivonne Delaflor.
Was good.
Teaching.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. What do you think? They say, like, do you mind? Do you like it? See, I'm in Whole Foods, so this. Oh, we lost it. We lost it.
There we are.
Very nice and very informative. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, they enjoyed it, and they were super cool, because you know they are here eating their lunch, and everybody was really quiet here at Whole Foods when they were here in the interview. It says it was very inspirational. Thank you. I'm glad that you like it.
It was your very fortunate experience there to be eating lunch there at that table while Ivonne was doing that live stream.
What do you like the most?
You have to listen to your heart.
Oh, they said they listen to your heart. And for you? Because it's a lady and a gentleman. Dr. Jeanne, this happens with me. How about for you, sir?
In general, that's what you talk about the people and what they want to do in life. So,
Yes, so don't fear what people are. He agrees. You brought light and love and light to Whole.
Well, thank you so much. I think we're losing you now. You're breaking up a bit. we're gonna finish the live stream now.
All right,
And-
thank you.
And I am going to end the recording now too.